Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I just came back again after the previous video which I did in Rohingya language because the topic I was discussing was actually related to the Rohingya people. Therefore, I only spoke in the Rohingya language. And I just got a lot of messages that requesting to speak in English so that they understand as well. And apparently there's some other Rohingyas who have been living in other part of the world do not understand the points I was making, so they're requesting to speak or making the points in English. Before I go to that topic, it's very unfortunate, it is evidence that the side effect of the decades-long genocide is this: we cannot even communicate with our own people in our own language because people are displaced and people are being born in different countries and different regions and with different languages, and they don't have access to the Rohingya language anymore or even understand the Rohingya language anymore. The point I was trying to make earlier was not to sell land to Arkan army or the Rakhine people for that matter. Those have ill intention against Rohingya people. When I said Rakhine people, I'm not blanketly blaming everybody, all the Mog, all the Rakhine for that matter, because there are Rakhine that we know that people who don't agree with the discriminatory policies or even fascist ideologies of other like Rakhine politicians or revolutionaries like AA, for example. Very unfortunately, I'll have to say this: AA is hypocritical when it's come to Rohingya issues. So, for example, when they talk in the media or even with the people, they will often say, "Oh, our Rohingya are part of Arakan." Rohingya they will use. The moment they switched the conversation within themselves or around themselves, among themselves, they will use the word kala, derogatory terms, like nigger for that matter, kala. Now, in Arakan, people are being intimidated or being seduced with money or threatening or giving false information or false narrations to grab their land. I'll give you a few examples. They were telling people, sell the land to us, if not your lands will be confiscated. Now the Rohingya people who have already experienced this land grab and land confiscation by the Burmese genocidal junta. Now, there is no farmer can claim, or maybe a majority of the Rohingya farmer can claim that they were not affected with these land grabs. Recently, the Rakhine population are approaching the Rohingya people, intimidating them to sell their lands and sometimes offering a lot of money. It has been going on for many, many years. It's come to my attention a few years ago. I was communicating these issues with different people or groups. So I thought the message is not reaching to many people. That is why Sorry, is a phone call coming. Please don't call me at this time on Facebook, please. I will call you back, or maybe just send a message so that I can call back. A lot of we are not, sorry guys, please don't call me on Facebook right now while I'm making this live video. Send a message, I will call back. So the point is, what the Rakhines trying to do? What they're trying to do is to grab all of the land of Rohingya people and pushing the Rohingyas to absolute poverty. And I gave an example of Israel and Palestine. What Israelis has done before they actually acquired that land from the British as a gift, what they have done was they tried to buy these lands from the Palestinians. They offered like double the price, triple the price, whatever price, with the greater ill intention to drive them off or to deprive them of their sustenance. What is in white land like very important? I give you an example. Last 70 years, we have been absolutely isolated from the rest of the world. The Rohingyas has been absolutely isolated from the rest of the world. Now, since 1990, our isolation has been severe, to the point that to travel within 10 kilometers, you have to obtain travel permission. Now, in Australian context, people will understand this. What does travel permission mean? Now, the Queenslanders, to go to Sydney, to New South Wales, or New South Wales, from people of New South Wales to come to Queensland, they have to take a border pass, right? They have to take it in advance, and they have to give a reason why they need to travel. And I know it is very important for all of us to keep ourselves safe, and the government is implementing that. But the Rohingyas has been subjected to obtain travel permit or Tokanza, the border pass, for last 40 years almost. Now, in Australia at least, you don't have to pay for it. In Burma, to obtain that travel permit to travel within town to town or even village to village, you have to pay a big sum of money, which often even, normal middle class can't afford. Often, to go to Yangon, for example, it's ridiculous amount of money you have to pay. So, because of that, the economy was completely crashed. The Rohingya economy was completely crashed. And everything was controlled by the Burmese or Mog Rakhines. Okay? Now, these people were completely controlling our economy, our livelihood, and not only that, even our health and education, in complete control of them. And unfortunately, these people who are controlling our economy, our life, our politics, they do not have good intention, or they want to eliminate, or they want to wipe off Arakan, like the Rohingya population is wiped off out of Arakan completely. Thus, I'm requesting people not to say land. When we were completely isolated, when we were, completely disabled economically, the only way we survived was because of the land that we had, our ancestors' land. right? So we could farm rice, we could grow vegetable, and we could fish. That's how we were surviving, and we know all of this. There was no international aid, there was no other help, international help. The only way of our survival, our sustenance was our land. Now, what the mobs, the Rakhine and the AA-led groups are trying to do is to deprive you of that rice bowl, basically, from Rohingya people. That's why I'm really appealing to people, please do not fall into the trap and the deceptions of these people, or the threats that they are making. You know what? Let them grab it by force. Don't sell it. If they grab it by force, you still have a claim to it. If you sold, you will never have claim of your land. And that is the message, basically. We were, and still is, completely paralyzed, completely disabled. Like, we have no economy. There's nothing. You cannot even trade within your community because there's restrictions. So guys, please retain your land so that you grow your own food, at least so that you don't go to starvation. I know you have no right to education, you have no access to education, no access to health care. I don't want to go to all these details right now, but the point was that your land is your lifeline, if that makes sense. Therefore, please do not sell your land, or do not just sell because you're afraid. Guys, I don't know. I have no solution how the alternative, but if you sell your land, mean you are giving up your life. You are agreeing to slave yourself. In other words, I say the same word in Rohingya as well. Selling your land mean selling yourself. Selling yourself mean you're becoming a slave. You're allowing them to enslave you. And that is what's going to happen. The moment all of your properties were acquired by the Rakhine, at the moment a lot of land were already confiscated, hundreds of acres, thousands of acres of land of people, individual owners, Rohingya owners have thousands of acres of land, has been confiscated by Rakhine, and they are farming on those lands now. And those people who are still remaining in Burma, in Arakan, and now they are trying to acquire their land with the means of intimidation, seduction, threats, and a lot of misinformation. Please don't sell your land, and please, those who are outside, please call your family, your loved ones, educate them, support them. If they need money, help them, but retain your land. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I hope those who don't understand Rohingya got the point. Thank you.